joining me on the line now is the president of Western Cape Equestrian Sport, Sylvia Buckner. Sylvia, fantastic to see you on the line again.
Yeah, great to be here. Thanks, JP.
Sylvia, let's do a little bit of catch up. We haven't managed to catch up with you for a while now. But since we did see you last, we spoke to Naomi Miller from endurance riding. We've spoken about mounted archery. I mean, just for catch up quickly, you've got a number of sports in under the equestrian code.
Yes, so we've got 18 codes altogether at the moment in the Western Cape that are active, of which 3 are Olympic codes. So we've got dressage, show jumping, and eventing. Those are the 3 Olympic codes. And then we've got about 15 other codes. So anything normally that you can do on the ground, you can do on a horse. So polo, I suppose, is like hockey. Polo cross is like lacrosse, and so on. So we've got endurance riding, which is similar to long distance running. So yeah, so that's what we do.
All right, so let's start. Lockdown is slowly fading away. We've had some great news lately. The COVID pressures seem to be reducing. That's obviously been very difficult for everybody. You, I know, have been having to manage all sorts of things with regards to the lockdown, but we're slowly getting back to return to sport now. So now we've got to start looking and asking the question, well, what are we busy doing? So let's start off with the first one that I wanted to speak to you about, and that is show jumping. So quickly, tell us about show jumping and tell us what's coming up in the world of show jumping.
Okay, great. So JP, a number of disciplines have started up. Of course, equestrian is by and large a non-contact sport, so we've been going since the beginning of level 2, and we've got permission from Department of Sport to, under very strict conditions, be able to have events. We're still not allowed to have spectators. And show jumping is probably one of the most popular sports or codes within equestrian. And they're going every show, almost every weekend there's a show. And this weekend there's a show in Stellenbosch near the Flying Club on the R44. But unfortunately, we can't have spectators. But it would be interesting for the viewers to know that the entries are full, and obviously we can only take a certain number of entries. But it's going well. I think the show jumpers are quite motivated, especially the youth, because it's just been announced that there will be a youth championship, and so yeah, they're very excited.
Is that a provincial championships or a national championships or international?
Yes. No, it's a national championship. So there are individual title for the children, what do you call the children, and then the pony riders, and then the juniors.
So we've got show jumping coming up, and of course, as you say, no spectators are allowed, but it doesn't stop us from showing lots of show jumping on TV. So of course, we expect lots of videos, all phones to be out on the day, and people filming all the show jumping. Let's go to the next topic here, dressage. Well, again, for everybody out there, what is dressage and what's coming up?
Okay, so dressage is basically the basic training of a horse, but at the more advanced level, I suppose you could compare it to gymnastics or ballet in a competitive form. It's also an Olympic sport, and the horse has to perform together with the rider certain movements in a test. It's like a floor plan. And they getting going. They also have got a provincial championship later on this in the next few months, and the juniors will then also be able to go up to Johannesburg because it's multidisciplined event in Gauteng.
This is fantastic news. I mean, we're heading back to competition, not only training, but we're heading back to competition as well. How are we doing, though? How are we doing from a dressage perspective? Are the Western Cape athletes winning every event?
Well, they do well. In the juniors at the moment, it's always a battle to get the numbers up, and when we have the numbers up, we do really well. We'll have to wait and see how many juniors now arrive back into the arena, and also obviously then the children as well. At the adult level, yes, we won the event 2 years ago. And last year we weren't as successful, but from what I can see with the entries coming up, some strong competition. And the nice thing is the one thing that lockdown has done is that once people were allowed to go and visit their horses after lockdown 5, they've really been in the arena and spending quality time practicing and training and getting ready for the events.
Sylvia, the next question is around saddle seat. Again, same question. What is saddle seat? A lot of people watching, they're wondering what is saddle seat, and then what have we got coming up?
Okay, so saddle seat is a sport that is a derivative of the saddle horse breed industry. But you don't have to have a saddle horse to do this event. I understand that there are a number of breeds where you can do that. It's a particular style of how you sit on the horse. It's also very, very smart and elegant. They wear tails and beautiful bowler hats and things like that. And they are judged in terms of their competence to ride the horses.
So many different codes, Sylvia. We have to keep talking to explain all these things. Any other sports in the equestrian arena that are sort of getting back up? We've spoken now about show jumping and dressage and the youth champs. Any of the other codes competing soon or getting ready for competition?
We're not hearing much from some of the other codes, but I think showing is another one that is going to have quite a big event in the next few weeks.
Right.
And that's be out at Mystico near Paarl, towards Paarl, Wellington. They've got a lovely indoor there, and there's a big showing show coming up there. Showing is about largely the beauty of the horse, so they judge the conformation and the utility of the horse. So very often there are different classes. For example, there's a hunter class. There's a horse that is utility, so you must be able to not spook too much, and so on. So very much about the way the horse looks, and it's very, very, very classical, elegant, and these days lots of bling, and everyone who does showing loves it.
Great stuff. Sylvia, we'll leave it at that. We'll hopefully catch up with you again over the next few weeks. And somebody from show jumping, somebody from dressage, someone from saddle seats, someone from showing. Let's get them all on. But great chatting to you again. And of course, we look forward to catching up. And we're just very happy that you're back on the park, so to speak.
Yes, no, great. Thanks, JP.
There we go, folks. Sylvia Buckner, she's of course the president of the Western Cape Equestrian Federation, which is of course all the showing, as you heard, the show jumping and dressage and showing and saddle seat. And you'll of course remember we recently had a number of other sport codes, like for example mountain archery and endurance riding on the show.